What's going on, everybody? We're back.
Hi, guys.
It's been a long 2, maybe 3 weeks now.
Yep.
Had a couple things going on, birthday parties, other parties, you know what I'm saying? So we're back and we're ready to go. We're actually today going to have a guest speak
So I am going to find
on
her.
our page. So we're going to ask her a few questions about addiction and listen to her story. So while Courtney does that, I'm going to do the background music.
Oh, background music. You're so funny, babe. Guest requests, your viewers. Allow viewers, yes. Add. She has to hop on.
We're just looking for Morgan. We'll find her.
Let me just message her real quick. Oh, I gotta invite her. And she's gotta. I haven't done this in forever. What, baby? There we go. So once she gets on here, we will grab her. It's hard to see the screen from far away.
Other than that, how's everybody doing? Hopefully good. We just been chilling.
Hanging out at home, doing some restorations.
Doing some restorations, fixing everything that she breaks.
I am a klutz. I do break a lot of things, I will say that. I don't think so. That's Haley. Oh, that's Haley. Oh, she lives right by you on the corner house with a tree house in the clubhouse.
Oh, not sure.
Green. No, I don't remember her last name. Her old last name. I told Morgan. Hold on. I'm gonna just message her real quick. How about
Hold
that?
on, guys. We'll be right back.
Oh, here she is. There we are. Okay, I'm here. So now I can add you. Here we go. Add. Yay! Figured it out? So I think all you have to do is accept it, Marky. Gotta love technology. It's so confusing. Especially when it's something that you're trying to figure out.
Morgan, are you on?
Yeah, it's adding her right now, but I don't know why it's taking so long. Yay!
Oh my gosh. Okay, it made me rotate my phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, you look so pretty.
Hi, thank you.
How was
You
the
look
rain
beautiful
over
as
there?
always. It's gnarly. It's still like thundering and lightning really bad. So.
We got nothing but sunshine always here. It's so annoying.
That's good. Lucky you.
Is that better?
What's
So,
up,
how you doing,
Dylan?
Mark?
How are you?
I'm good to be alive. How are you?
I'm good. My mom spoiled me today, and I got to go get a facial and a massage, so that was very relaxing and nice.
I think you'll get a massage.
You can only get one of those.
That's one a day,
Yeah.
Mark. That's not fair.
Just one a day. It'd be great.
So, are you ready to answer some questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
Oh,
cool.
here comes my little one. Come here. You wanna
I
say
got the black.
Okay. All right. Well, can you go ask Daddy? Thank you.
Party.
Sorry about that.
We're going to start it off with, these aren't hard questions. These are just questions that will let the outside viewers get a better idea on how everybody's affected with addiction, you know?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. I think I'm ready.
where were you at in life the first time you used?
The first time I used, I was young. I started off really young. I was in high school, and it started off as fun and thinking it was fun. And also at this time, I was diagnosed, but I was unmedicated. And I think a lot of my my addiction stemmed from being an unmedicated bipolar, and as I recently just found out, ADHD. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And like I said, I was very young. I was probably 12, 13. And that's also around the time when I first went to rehab too. So yeah.
So you went to rehab when you were like 13-ish?
Yeah, I think I was 13, 12 or 13. I can't remember exactly, but it was around those 2 years.
How did that feel? Did you feel like, was that a weird time in your life because you were so young?
You know, me personally, I think I would have benefited from rehab later in life because my addiction got even harder. Um, but I think it instilled the steps into me, and it instilled, having a sponsor and working the program. I think that was really beneficial for me.
And it like kept you accountable, kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Okay.
At what point in your life did you realize that you actually had an addiction? Like, what was going on in your life when you realized that you had an addiction problem?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I I knew very early on that I had an addictive personality, and that I'm I was kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard anybody say this before, but like a trash can. Like I would literally just do anything to get high or not feel the way I was feeling. And it didn't matter what it was. Um, it really, I don't want to say any names because like you've said
Mm-hmm.
before, Courtney, I don't want to give them power. So,
Exactly.
um, um, I, I definitely, yeah, that was, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
At what point did you realize you had an addiction? Like, when did you
Yeah.
realize, damn, I have an
So
addiction, I have a
I
problem?
definitely think that it got really bad for me later in life, probably in my 20s.
Yeah.
Um,
Remember.
when I started using, yeah, you were there for it.
I was there for that
Um, it definitely got really hard for me. I literally, you guys, lost everything. Like when I moved back home to Alabama, I had a duffel bag full of things that belonged to me, and that's all I had left. And
one.
that, if you think about that, like that's really hard to believe. Like everything that I had ever worked for in my life, I had lost because of my addiction, literally everything.
Wow. Well, that was a good question. I think that one came from her. So.
That came from me. That was my question.
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing real quick though, about the
Yeah.
getting high on anything when you're younger. Me and him used to still like beers and stuff, but we
Mm-hmm.
used to spray hairspray into a washcloth just to
Mm-hmm.
do like it was so weird, and we were like 11 years old doing this. It was just
Yeah.
it's like so weird to do,
Yeah,
but you
I
want
did
to
that
because you want
with
to
like
alter yourself.
Sharpies.
Yeah,
It's the
it's like
same thing.
glue,
Yeah, I
fucking
mean,
paint.
it was
Like
really
we do
just
that with stuff.
anything. Yeah.
We are super crazy though. It's okay to be crazy.
Yeah,
It's
and
okay.
I accept it.
Everyone's a little crazy.
All
Yeah.
right. What situation came up to make you want to get sober?
Um, I I was with someone when I decided to like really, like I said before, I knew about the steps. I hadn't really worked them. I didn't really live my life having a sponsor or anything like that. But when I moved home, I went to a like a year-long program. I didn't stick with it because I wasn't ready. But I think what got me to get sober was that I was done losing everything, and I wanted to give up one thing so that I could have everything again. So
That's good. Yeah.
yeah, and I really think that it works, if you work it. I think it does. So
It works if you work it. That's what they say.
yeah.
Exactly. You can know everything in the psychology book, but if you don't apply it, then it's
Hmm.
worthless. You have to
Yeah.
apply it.
The big book.
Yeah, and also when I moved home and I was around family and my support system, I also started going to a psychiatrist regularly, and I was really into not necessarily being on the medication, but my therapist helped me work through some trauma and some things that I had gone through in my childhood that I was able to say, be forgiving and understanding of those things, and that it happened to me for a reason, and I am where I am today. So
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, and then you've already kind of covered this. Did you get sober through a rehab program or on your own? So you kind of did a little bit of both.
yeah, I did touch a little bit on that. I did go to rehab, like I said, when I was 12 and 13, and then when I moved home, I think when I moved home, I was 23 when I moved back to Alabama.
Yeah.
I was. Okay,
Yeah,
you
you're
remember.
23. 'Cause you're
I was
younger than me,
23, I
right?
think almost 24, something like
Yep.
that. And and when I moved home, my mom was like, "You need to go here," and I was like, kind of hesitant, but I did it because I was trying to please them, and I was living with them, so I thought it was the right thing to do, and I went for a few months, and like I said, it was a year-long program, so that's a lot of yourself to give to something. And
Mhm.
I did it, and I wasn't there wholeheartedly, and I didn't end up completing the program, and I left kind of on bad terms with the people, but that's okay. I mean, I still
Yeah.
ended up getting sober, and
Yeah.
I think that's all that matters. So.
Yeah,
I
it
went
does.
to a I
Yeah.
went to a program, but
Mhm.
I didn't choose to go to the program, but the court system made me. But
Okay.
it was a 24-month program,
Oh.
and it was the hardest thing I ever did probably in my entire life. It was a TC program, like it's like ran like a Peer 1, so
Mhm.
they relate it to like they compare it to like a boot camp, in the military, or something really, really hard, because, man, we would get called names, and we used to have to stand in the corner. We used to have to wear, they called them supportables, and we would have to walk around with hats on our head, or a Mickey
Mm.
Mouse or a Pinocchio nose out to
Mhm.
here. Like, if we got caught lying, we'd have to wear a Pinocchio nose, or
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
there was
Wow.
absolutely
So
no
did you
cussing.
complete that program,
I
Dylan?
completed it. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
I completed the program, and then I was sober for a long time, but I eventually relapsed. But that program did work
Yeah.
for me, but
How long were you sober after the program?
um, like 2 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was so hard that it scared me to where, like, I was like, I don't want to ever do that again. So it
Yeah.
kept me sober for a long time, but I mean, it got real hard, and then eventually I relapsed. But that, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little bit what happened to me. All right, so okay, ask the last question. What differences do you see in your life between active addiction and sobriety?
I love this
Wow.
question.
That's a really good question. My life is completely different than it was when I was in active addiction. I am currently going to school. I have a son. I have an almost 4-year-old. And he is the light of my life. He keeps me sober on a daily basis, really does.
And he's so
I'm
cute.
happily married for 5 years. He is my
5 years?
rock.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it was 5 years in May, the beginning of May. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Um, and we've known each other since we were like 12 and 13. So he's like, he knows me.
Yeah,
So
I know that
it's
feeling.
it's a really cool relationship we have, and I have everything and more than I could have ever expected from getting sober. I really do.
I just got goosebumps when you said that. Like, I'm so beyond proud of you. Like, the person I see today is a totally different person. Like, me and Morgan go way back. We were best friends.
Yeah, we
Um,
were. We still are.
those 20s, man, those 20s were fun. We had some
Yeah.
fun, but we had some bad times too. We
I'm
had
sore
some,
when I wake up in the morning now.
oh my God. You know you're old when you need to carry around an aspirin on your nightstand so you can take it when you wake up.
I
Like,
know.
okay, I'm gonna stretch and do some yoga to get out of bed. Okay, and then the last question,
It's the most important of all.
Yeah.
would you take back your addiction if you could? And it will completely change your whole life, it'll be totally different, whatever. Would you take it back
You might remember, though, you might not be
where you are
where
today
you're sitting.
without it?
Exactly. And that was going to be kind of my point with it, is that there's probably, I don't think I would take back the whole thing. There's probably things that I did that I would take back if I could.
Mhm.
But I don't think that I would necessarily take back at all, because I wouldn't be where I was. I wouldn't be able to be having this conversation with you guys right now, which I'm so excited to be doing and sharing this with you guys. I am so proud of both of you for doing what you're doing, and spreading the word. I think that's totally awesome. But yeah, so no, I wouldn't.
It's good. That's good.
That's good.
That's a good answer, because
Yeah.
Exactly.
a lot of people, don't give us answers. They just say, "I don't know. I can't answer that one."
Yeah.
Well,
I think that you gotta know. You gotta know, because if you don't know, then that means you don't know where you want to be in life at that time.
And you're still kind of living in limbo, like
Yeah.
you're not really
I think
sure.
I
Yeah.
think that the people that don't answer it, they need they need a little bit of more guidance.
They're not ready yet, you know?
Exactly.
It took a lot of work for me to be able to forgive myself, you guys. And
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing for me was how can I do all of that stuff and still be forgiving of myself? Like I was such an ugly person and I did so many people wrong that how could I be forgiven? And you know, you work through the steps and you work through yourself and you figure out that you are worth that forgiveness.
Exactly.
I have one more question, and it's not written down. Sorry.
That's okay.
The friends, since you're on here today, and you're talking to us, the question would be: active addiction users, or whatever you want to call them, people that are still using.
Like your friends.
Is it hard to not talk to them, or do you not talk to them, or
Do you still talk
do
to
you
them
involve
even though
them
you
in
know?
your life? Like, are they still around?
Me personally, I don't really associate myself with people who aren't sober. I try not to. It does come up occasionally, and I am around them. It doesn't, but it can be a trigger, you know. So in early sobriety, I definitely wouldn't suggest it. You know, I think you should definitely change, you know, your people, places, and things, and that's one of the number one things that you first learn in rehab, you know. And I think that you should live by that at first, you know, when you're first getting sober and you're first getting used to life in sobriety. I think that's a good thing to stay away from.
Yeah. It's hard to be around people when you're first getting sober. So like
Yeah.
me and you were best friends, and I needed a way to get sober, and I just cut off ties with everyone. Like I literally disappeared. No one even knew I was like.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to tell this story. So Morgan was going to come to California with me, and then she ended up going to Alabama to get sober. So we both like even cut each other off. But now years later we can come back, and so that's my point with this is even though you're going to cut off your addicted friends when you first get sober, it's okay because eventually they're going to see you being sober and see you and learn from you so that you can get them sober by being sober yourself. That's my whole
it's
point.
this thing, you guys, this is infective. Let's infect the world. Let's get everybody off drugs, please. Let's do that, okay?
That's exactly the point. We're trying, but it's all by example, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You guys are doing an awesome job, and like I said before, I'm so proud of you guys.
It's all about just showing up. As long like, and I hated not being friends with you. Like I cried so much. I'm like, I just want to call her, but I couldn't call you because it would trigger me, and I would come home. So I didn't call. But eventually, you called me, and we talked, and now we talk every day now, and it's so nice to have my best friend back. Like you're somebody I have a best friend tattoo with. Where is it?
Oh,
I have a tattoo of
mine's covered up right now, but yeah, it's still there.
And it says, "Friends forever, never apart. Maybe in distance, but never at heart."
Never at heart. Yep.
It's perfect.
That's good. That's good.
It's a good one because even though we can't always be around each other, we still know that we're there for each other. You know.
Yeah.
Always.
Hi, Mama. Ethan. Your mom said hi to you.
I can't even see the comments, so it's like it made me turn my phone.
We have comments. I could just see who's hopping on, but I'm kind of blind. It's hard to see. They're little.
It's kind of far away.
It's all far away.
Nothing. We're just chilling.
You're just having a whole conversation.
Yeah. So.
What's going on?
Other than that, we've been pretty busy.
Oh yeah. Trying to get our lives together because we have everything together. We just can't find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still trying to keep our sobriety and
it's hard.
other people.
Yeah, it's hard. And I was talking to Courtney the other day, and she said there's not a lot of like in-person meetings, so
there's a lot of video.
That really sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing for me. It's like I won't go to it. I won't go to it because
it's a phone.
It's a feeling for me, like when you
it
walk
doesn't.
in
It is. You're totally right, Dylan. It's the same way for me too.
It feels like you're safe in there. It feels like and it feels like you could just talk about anything. Because there's a lot of things that like I want to talk about on here, but I can't because it's
we want to keep it. We don't want to give power to the drugs. We don't want to really talk about them.
I don't want to talk about
getting sober and you getting sober and like we don't want to get to power, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. We're trying. How long have we been on here?
I think this is number 4 or 5. I don't do well with counting.
It's a video.
Oh, how long have we been on the video? I don't know. Long enough, I
Is
guess.
she staying on for the whole month?
Yeah, I
Oh.
can leave. Whatever you guys want.
Unless there's something you want to say or an experience you want to share with us or anything that you had in your mind that you just want to get out there. Like, I love that you said you want to infect the world and get everybody sober.
I have a question.
I love it.
It has nothing to do with addiction, or I mean, drugs or anything like that.
Yeah.
Your family now, is it the way that you thought your family would be like when you pictured them before you had kids, before you had a husband, before anything,
Before I got sober.
before you got sober? Is this the way you
I
look at it?
thought,
Like,
no, it's not. Because when I first got sober, I thought I was the black sheep in the family and no one really liked me and I was just kind of a burden on everyone. But the way it's come about to be is beautiful. Like, we're close. I have support. They support me. They're there for me. And I couldn't ask for a better family. I really couldn't.
that's good.
And I love that because I remember you.
My weirdo dog's chewing on my fingernails right now.
Oh, I love your dog. I'm just kidding. Is it that dog that I know?
Huh?
Or the bigger dog?
That's
Is it
Scrappy, the
favorite?
big dog. Yeah.
Okay, I love that you and your family are closer because I have the same thing. Me and my family were kind of, his family's always been very like close knit, and me, I distanced myself from my family because I didn't want them to know that I had a
Yeah,
problem.
and I
And
definitely
that's
did the
why,
same thing when I was in active addiction for sure.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm so glad you and your mom are all tight now. Like that,
Yeah.
you went and had facial and a massage. You would never have done that
Mhm.
if we were still in Denver doing what we were doing.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't have.
I like it because I'm a lot closer to my mom. The only thing that bothers me is it sucks. Is your mom close to you? Is your family,
Yeah,
your mom?
Yeah, that's why I came back to Alabama is because my family's here.
Right. My
Well,
family, they're still in Colorado, so it's a little
yeah.
tough because I can't just go drive
Yeah.
and see them. But
Yeah, same.
I mean, that is probably the only thing out of everything that is the hardest thing that gives me not a trigger, I guess you would say. It's not a
It is
trigger,
definitely
but it's a trigger that I can't see them, so I get upset, you know. So
Yeah,
that's
sure.
the only.
Like you said, the support system.
That's the
You came to
only thing,
Alabama
yeah.
with the support system, and then he needs that support system.
I'm
but
just looking for
we're trying
the
to build
right
it.
what do they call it, sponsor, because it's so
Yeah.
hard to find a good sponsor out here
And video chats aren't
that
needed.
isn't like gonna not meet you over the phone or have a video chat or write you a text message, you know.
I know it has to be
So weird.
so hard for you guys right
Yeah,
now.
so
Like I
What'd you say,
yeah,
Morgan?
I said that has to be so hard for you guys, not being able to get in and, meet with people because that's I think so important is not just the video, I mean, you can do a video chat for a couple weeks if, you're sick or something, but you need that setting, you
Yeah.
need where, I just think that's important for, when you're first getting sober.
Yeah, no, it is.
See, and I've never been to a meeting, so it's really cool to hear you guys' stories about it because I want to go, but I can't now because it's COVID. It's just video chats. Like, I want to have that experience too. And I always thought about going to NA, but I kept my addiction very, like,
Very, very secret.
secret. I was a secret addict.
Yeah.
Hardcore secret addict.
Which is not good because it comes to bite you in the butt
And I
later.
finally have like I finally want to go to a meeting, and I'm at the place in my life where I'm ready to go to a meeting, and I can't go. And that's like our whole podcast is wrapped around recovery.
Well,
and
even though
relapsing
they're
COVID.
not available, I still suggest you going to an online meeting because, and if you,
Of course.
type
And
in
I do
there, you're
find
looking
some.
for a sponsor and that's what you're looking for, I guarantee you that you will be able to, someone will reach out to you because,
Well, I
you're
already
putting
have you,
yourself
so
out
that's
there.
what you're for.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said I already have you, so that's what you're for.
Yeah. I can be that for you, babe. I'm here for you always.
Well, yeah, because our talks every morning seriously get me out of bed. Like I wake up and I have an alarm and it says Morgan workouts. We don't really work out, but we work out we're talking.
And I do homework, so.
Yeah. So that in itself it helps me. That
Yeah.
is like therapy to me because it's something else to think about and do.
Yeah.
And I see how far you've come, and I never in a million years thought you'd be married with baby. I never in a million years because it wasn't something you wanted in life.
It
At
wasn't.
that time.
It
It
really
was not
wasn't.
at all. Like you saw me with my kids, and you're like, I'm good. But I'm so
Yeah.
happy you had him, and he is the cutest little boy, and I can't wait to meet
Aw.
him. Good little
Thank
team.
you. Thank you.
I have, so one more question. Is there anything you would want to ask us?
Um, let's see.
That's a hard one, huh?
What, I think I might have already asked you this, Court, but for you, I guess I would ask you kind of, I guess, a personal question maybe. Am I a trigger for you?
No, actually, because me and you didn't do the same thing.
That's true.
So like, I wasn't sneaking off to the bathroom with you all the time. We did one thing together, but eventually we graduated and we're doing some dumb shit. But we didn't do that together. And my extreme part of my addiction, we weren't doing the same thing, so it doesn't bother me because when I see you, I just want to be sober because I love you. And that was the whole reason why I wanted you to move here with me. And that's why I packed all your shit into my moving van. And I was like, you're coming with me. It's in the front of the moving van. I'm not taking it out. And then you didn't come with me. And I cried a lot about that because I wanted you to get sober too, you know? And you're not a trigger for me at all. Just like we use together. He's not a trigger for me to use. He's a reason why I don't want to. Like, we used together and I saw how he was and he saw how I was, and you just are bad. It's just, you fight, you don't think straight, you're just thinking the craziest stuff that's not true.
Yeah.
And I look at him, or I would look at you, and it would just break my heart. So it's not really a trigger, it's more of like a help. But there are some people that are triggers. Like, I do have one friend in Denver, the person that introduced it to me. She's kind of a trigger, but she's also sober right now. So I'm kind of leaning away from that being a trigger because she's sober now and I'm proud of her because the ripple effect, you know?
Yeah.
Do you have any friends that have gotten sober since you got sober?
And they deserve that forgiveness too, because if they choose to be sober, they forget that, you know, they deserve that because we were there too, you know?
Exactly.
And we've been that one day sober, that 1 hour sober, and you feel so worthless and unforgivable.
Yeah.
And you still, you too deserve that, you know? So that's good. I'm glad you can do that.
Perfect, but we're trying.
Yeah. It's hard. I know. Every day is hard.
It is.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It gets easier though, I promise. It gets easier, and you don't have to think about it as much. It just starts to become part of the way you live, you know, and it's
how
a
long
new
have
way
you
of
been
life.
sober?
Yeah, so I actually, well, I moved home when I was 23, so I got sober then, and I was sober for about 5 years, but I had a relapse about a year ago. It didn't last very long, but I did splurge. So I don't know if you would call that like a full relapse or just you know, kind of falling out a little bit. I just kind of jumped off the bandwagon. But I very quickly got back on, and I guess it's been about a year since that happened, so.
See, but you're sober. Even if it was a month ago, you're still like, it's okay. As long as you want to be sober and you keep working towards that, because it is the hardest thing in the world. It really is, and it is a disease. It really is. And I wish they would classify it as that, because then people will get the help that they actually need. I don't think they will. It's political, for sure.
Yeah, and I, you know, and it's like I said in the beginning, I really think a lot of people struggle with undiagnosed mental illnesses, and that is the biggest reason people are self-medicating. I really believe that.
That is exactly what it is. Yes, because I'm somebody that has ADHD, and I have been looking for a psychiatrist for how long? 2 months. I can't find one that works for me, or it's too expensive, or they don't take my insurance, or it's online, it's not in person. And if it's my first psychiatrist or psychology visit, I need it to be in person, because I need them to tell me what the heck is going on in my head.
Yeah.
You know? And I use uppers so that I can calm that down, because I'm crazy. I talk really fast and I can't stop, and it just sucks. And it's weird because normally that's what people act like when they're on it. So I act like that when I'm off of it, and when I'm on it, I'm like this. And I'm just like a zombie. It's so weird.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna wrap it up.
I think
that was pretty good. You know,
I hope
all right, you guys.
Like being live. It was fun to have you. I hope the questions were good enough. We thought about them for
days.
A long time.
So, they were cool. Thank you guys for sharing this with me. I was glad to be here.
Oh, let's see Grayson. I want to say hi.
Come here, Grayson. You want to say hi? Come here.
What's up, dude? Hi.
Can you say hi? Hi, he says.
All right. Well,
Oh my God, Morgan had a baby. I love that. I love Tuna.
let's go.
All right, well, we're
All
gonna
right,
wrap
guys.
this up. Thank you so
All right.
much for doing this with us. I hope you
You're
guys enjoyed
welcome.
this. I hope you
I
guys
did.
like, yeah. I will talk. I'll probably just call you in a second, but
Okay.
I love you. I am
All right.
so proud of you, and I will talk to you
Same to
soon.
you, babe. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.